Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Monday morning edition of the Round 8 review. I fell asleep before lockout lifted, so just doing it this morning. Alright, so, what a round. We had some big scores, some not so big scores, and some of those not so big scores were in our team, but we still managed to get a pretty solid score. Our trades, we held Albanese, and we didn't trade in Dutton and Supercoach. We traded out Clay Hall, who's dead rookie on the bench. We traded out Clayton Oliver just because, those personal issues, could they turn into 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks? I just didn't like the wording of what Melbourne said. Next week he'll return to the program. Didn't say he'd play. So, few red flags there. Alright, so we traded in. So we were contemplating, do we huss or do we bus? Well, that was more for next week. But I think Bevo made that decision for us by making bustling at the sub. Oh, what are you doing, Bevo? And we brought in Hustwaite early. And we fielded him as well. I'll go through that soon. And we traded in Isaac Rankin. I was finally able to get into my side. Just too hard for me watching Adelaide Crows games and watching the scoring and watching him nearly ton up every week. So good trade in, I think. All right, and go to our vice captains. So like I said in the last video, we put the VC on Zach Merritt, 172. Had to take it. I know I thought Max Gawn would go absolutely massive, and he did. So I lost out 26 points there. So but you're not knocking back a 172. Otherwise, what was the point in vice captaining anyway? And Harry Boyd was our captain. All right. So if we move on to our captains. So Zach Merritt with a 172. That brings our average for our captain score, up to 128.3. All right, still a bit of work to do, so hopefully we can get those big scores, keep it on coming. All right, so we scored a 2,550, which was it's brought up our ranking to 6,686. So wait, is that right? Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. For some reason that didn't refresh. But I was going to say I didn't score the same as last week. We scored still a pretty solid score, 2,475, which is a round rank of 7,400. And we are now up to rank 4,191. So we've gone up another 2.5k. So we're slowly getting back up into that towards that 1%. And geez, only 5 out of 8 league wins. So pretty big score, but still lost because I'm playing against pros. Alright, so this is how our team's looking. We've got 75.5k left in the bank. We've got 23 trades, and we still got 2 boosts. Okay, so starting from the backline, Lockie Whitfield, 111, which I will happily take considering the Jordan tag. I'm not sure if he was tagging him that closely this time, but we'll take a 111. Jordan Clark with a 58. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show you this. Alright, so Jordan Clark himself, who was on ABC Radio, he said, "It's pretty disappointing, to be honest, mate. We're embarrassed." And I'm just going to leave that there. I'm very disappointed in your score as well as Fremantle's performance. Alright, now moving on to Dane Zorko, 95. This was looking like another, disappointing, sort of 70-80 type score. Didn't watch the second half of this game, but he got up to a 95, which I guess we'll take for now. But, pretty concerning considering they've got Kitty Coleman to come back into the side next week. So, he did pretty well in the VFL. So, how much does that affect Zorko? So, we'll have to keep an eye and see what happens there. Matt Roberts, 82, a bit of a floor score, one of his lower scores. Pretty disappointed with that, but he's over 500k. Hopefully he can make it just at least to the buys, and maybe he can be my ticket to say like a Bont. Maybe I can trade him out and bring Sheasel back and use his cash. Anyway, that's an option. Riley Bice disappointing with a 49, but then again, he is a rookie. He's made, how much has he made for us? He would have made nearly 300k for us, 262k, and still with a pretty achievable break even of 71. So I think we still hold on to him. Zach Reed, 102, beautiful. Had the confidence to put him on field. Nearly had Liam O'Connell on the field, who actually played. About 10 minutes before the Essendon game, just because we couldn't see the team sheet. So, as far as I knew, Liam O'Connell still wasn't playing. So, yeah, luckily we put him on the field as soon as we realised that Liam O'Connell was playing, and he scored a nice 102. Super premium D1 Zach Reed. Well, just joking. But yeah, Ridley's gone out, so how does that affect Zach Reed? I'm pretty sure Essendon is going to bring in a young debutant, Lewis Hayes, key defender. So, well, we can't trade him out now. Yeah, I was thinking of trading him to Bus, use his cash, but Bus was made the sub, so yeah, can't do that. Alright, so and he's got a -3 break even, I think. Yep, -3 break even. So he's going to make us even more cash, and that 102 is going to be in his cycle, this week and next week. Yeah, next 2 weeks. Anyway, yeah, very happy with the Zach Reed pick. Glad I traded out Trainer instead of Zach Reed. Matt Carroll, 37. Does he hold his spot on the side? Not too sure. Actually, what's his break even? 15. Yeah, so he might not make us much more cash, but do we go him to Buslinger? Well, that'll only net us about. What's that, about 60k, so it's probably not enough. Liam O'Connell with a 43, he's back from the concussion. He's still got a high break even, but that, I don't know, what was it, 2 he scored when he got concussed after being pushed by Ryan Mansell, is still in his system. Could he be a sneaky option to make us a bit of coin? But I wouldn't expect him to. I'd probably expect these 43 type scores, hopefully a spike score in there somewhere. But yeah, well, it's probably a good sign that he's come back into the side. Maybe he's the type of player that Ross Lyon likes. All right, so yeah, we'll keep on to him. All right, Zach Merritt, 172, beautiful, huge last quarter. Which, well, as an Essendon supporter, if we didn't have Merritt, oh man, we probably would have lost that by 5 goals. But yeah, 172, beautiful. Have to take that. And while we're talking about Zach Merritt, hey, here's a look at his heat map. It's in the shape of a love heart. So he's giving love to all those owners. Especially those that put the vice captain on him. But yeah, as we'll see later, that wasn't even my highest score. Lockie Neal, 124. Yep, beautiful. That's what we want from you, Lockie. Those 120 type games. Wasn't tagged. Who have they got next week? Got North Melbourne, so hopefully he can go huge as well next week. Harry Sheasel, 120. He's back to that halfback role, so 120. Very happy with that. Not sure if Kane Corns is happy with that, but I'm guessing Kane Corns doesn't have Harry Sheasel in his team. Connor Ruzzi, disappointing with a 78. Yeah, like the screen says there, that's average points. So come on, mate. Got to lift. You're the captain. You got the showdown this week, so come on, mate. Adam Chera, 82. Yeah, just consistently between like 95 and 105-ish, but yeah, last couple of weeks just been 80s. So come on, mate. Let's get back to those 100 type scores. Please at least make it to the bye. All right. Elijah Hewitt. Now, I'm going to put these 4 here. The next 4, Hewitt, Lindsay, Hustwaite, and Ashcroft, all in the one. So I had Hewitt originally on my bench, but I thought, well, an hour before the game or whenever the subs are released, he's not the sub. He's playing Melbourne, who aren't the strongest team. I'm going to put him on the field. Eagles playing at home. I saw what he did against Essendon. He scored 3 goals, I think, this game. So, yeah, nice 91 score. That will reset his break even, so he's got a bit of cash to make. And, yeah, take his 91 points on field. Xavier Lindsay was pretty disappointing. 56. Thought he might, have a bit of a spike score against West Coast. Actually, what's his break even? It is 14. So still a little bit of cash to make now. But if I have to trade someone out, he could be an option. Hustwaite. Now, Hustwaite and Ashcroft. Right, so what I did here was these guys, well, Hustwaite, at first he was named on the ball when the teams first came out. And that gave me the confidence to go early on him. And scored a nice 70 last week, although it was against West Coast. But playing Richmond, I thought, yeah, he should go well against Richmond. And he did with an 82. Like, 82 from a rookie. You take that every day of the week. But Levi Ashcroft, playing in the last game, named on the bench. Like, I know there was like a McLaughlin and Connor McKenna who were probably more sub candidates. But I was just thinking, like, what if he is named a sub? What if, Fagan decides, he needs a rest and, makes Ashcroft a sub? I just wanted to play it a bit safe there. And, he comes out and punishes me for that by scoring a 99. So that's cost me 17 points there. So more points left on the table there. But, he's still got some money to make. 51, very achievable. Playing against North Melbourne, so might keep him for another couple of weeks even. All right, Kako 60. Oh man, anything over like a 65 or 70, I would have taken. He gave away a 50-meter penalty. He had a shot on goal, absolutely burnt Zach Merritt, who was, pretty much by himself running into goal. Instead, he scored like a point or something like that, or maybe even kicked it out of bounds. I can't remember what it was. But that left some points on the table there, not only for Kako, but for Merritt as well, which would have been a certain goal. All right, so he's another trade-out candidate if I decide to trade this week. Tom Gross didn't play. All right, Maxi Gawn. Now, 198. Knew he was going to go big. Didn't think he was going to go like actually, I'm not surprised he nearly went 200. But he's back. Absolutely destroyed Matt Flynn, who scored only the 53. Just get him out of the way now. He might get dropped, so he might be time to move him on. He's made us 100k. He's done his job. Could have done it better, but anyway, if got to look out for team sheets, see if Bailey Williams is back in. Archer Reed's also out injured as well, so might have to play, but maybe he shares the ruck with Bailey Williams this week. I'm not sure, but he's definitely on the chopping block. Sorry, back to Max Gawn. 198. Beautiful bearded man. Alright. So we saw the love heart from Zach Merritt's heat map. Well, if you look at Max Gawn's heat map, to me it looks like someone bending over. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So you're going to keep this PG. All right, so we've got Harry Boyd that didn't play. Is Marshall in trouble for a trip that happened on against Fremantle? Could be. If he gets a week, he could be playing this week. Gets one more game into Harry Boyd, his price won't go up because he's only played the one game. But, could cost us a loophole. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens there. DeConning disappointing with an 80. He was playing against Riley O'Brien, who has been pretty restrictive this year to scoring. Could Pitneck come back? He was named in the emergencies this week. We'll have to wait for team sheets. Could he even be a trade-out option? Could he be my option, my road back to Cherry maybe? No, we'll find out. Jason Horne-Francis, 92. Pretty disappointed that he didn't go to ton, but we'll take a 92. Hopefully he can go big in the showdown. Petrarca, this is a great trade-in. Back-to-back, 130 type scores. Very happy with that. Isaac Rankin. I could finally enjoy watching an Adelaide game with having this man in my team. I've been wanting to get him in the team for a while. Other things would pop up and I just couldn't get him in. And obviously I didn't start him. But a nice 138. Thank you very much, Isaac. Keep it up, mate. Bailey Smith, 111. Everyone's got him. That's about his average, which is good. He's now up to 505k. So, keep going, Bailey. Looking forward to the round 11 game against the Dogs. Jack McRae went huge as well. 160. I think there was actually, I saw a tweet about some people actually trading him out. Whew, they would be hurting. Caleb Daniel, 89, had a pretty big last quarter. Otherwise, it was looking like a pretty disappointing score from him. And Caden Cleary, 63. We'll take that. From a rookie, it's up to 239, and you still got to break even the negatives, so a bit of cash to make there. And Aiden Johnson did not play again. I think he's just like a dead rookie. All right, so what can we do with trades this week? Well, I've had a couple of people on my radar. I've had one Jordan Dawson, and I've got Jack Sinclair on my radar, and I've also got Cherry on my radar. Alright, so my trades are probably going to be pretty team sheet dependent, but I just want to see if I can do something. Let's say I don't want to trade out Ashcroft, because if we look here, Ashcroft has still got money to make. Hustwaite's on the ball. I'm not going to trade out Hustwaite. Lindsay's got a little bit more money to make, but he could be on the chopping block. Hewitt, he's got money to make. Zach Reed, Riley Bice, no, I'm not going to go there. So the issues that I have here, so if I put Ashcroft back here, I'm happy to him as a rookie. Hewitt has Richmond this week as well. So my trade out candidates, let's go with Kako. And let's trade out Flynn. So what does that give me? 694k. Alright, so a mid to trade in. Do I want to go early on another rookie? This guy's you look good, but we've seen what this Ross the Boss does to the rookies. And they do something wrong, they might come off, get a huge spray from him, and get subbed out in the second quarter. Alright, but he looked good. I don't really want to do this, but I don't think I have any other options. Alright, so that gives us 581k. So let's see. Who can we afford? Now, like I said before, a couple of players on my radar. I've got Jack Sinclair, 533. He's got a break even of 130 or so. So, could that wait a week? Or, who was the other guy on my radar? Jordan Dawson. So, about 10k cheaper. 156. He's a bit up and down. I was a Jordan Dawson owner last year. I pretty much picked him up at his bottom price and just rode that roller coaster. But he's got the showdown this week, so he loves a good showdown. He's one that I can consider as well. Who else we got here? Max Holmes could be a consideration. I could pick anyone from any line here. Actually, how much is Cherry? Can I fit Cherry in here? No, I can't. He'll be 600 plus. So, if I could go Bailey Dale. No, I rode that roller coaster last year as well. Sarong. He's probably going to drop a bit more coin. A couple more weeks, I reckon Brayshaw will drop a couple as well. Dacos will drop a bit as well with their 80 scores. Dunkley, do I want to go there? I think I will go with Jack Sinclair. And that leaves us with 47.6k. Let's just do that for now. Alright. There we go. So, these aren't my final trades, so just doing sort of like a mock sort of trade. Actually, I just want to see something as well. If I were to use a boost, let's activate. Now, I do want to save one boost for round 13 to get in some, round 12 players when the buys come. 612. Yeah, no, I can't go cherry if I do that. All right, I'll just leave it there for now. Have some time to think about the video for the trades and vice captain. Actually, while I'm here, just an early vice captain. All right, who's Gorn playing this week? He's playing against Lloyd Meek. Fremantle don't. Actually, who do I even have to loop? Let's say Harry Boyd doesn't play. I would have to go. Geez, the only option I'd have is Jordan Clark. And if Carroll gets dropped, he's playing the second game as well. Aiden Johnson plays in the third game. Gross. If Gross doesn't play. When does he play? On the Sunday against Richmond. Alright, let's say Gross doesn't play. Maybe sub. Yeah, I'll just use Gross as the loophole. And I'll probably put the VC on Maxi Gorn. And who would I put the captain on? Zach Merritt against Sydney. Lockie. Let's go with Lockie Neal against North Melbourne. Alright, so yeah, that's just an early vice captain. Vice captain options there, but I'll have to think about that during the week. Alright, that'll do for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you. Bye.